As our participants look forward to SC22, the exhibit hall is always a huge attraction. We'll talk with next year's exhibit chair in a moment. Welcome to SC21 TV. I'm your host, Charla Bokikio. We are live at the SC21 TV news desk. We've met leaders in the world of high-performance computing all week long. With me now is the SC22 exhibits chair, Jim Stewart. Hi, Jim.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
You are my last live interview of the week.
That's because I know Rich Finlinson.
This is a special spot.
We planned this.
You are also from Utah, as am I.
Yes, I am.
So,
it's a great place to live.
It is a great place to live. So before we talk about next year's exhibit, let's start with you. Tell us about your day job and how did that lead to your first SC?
Well, I'm the Chief Technology Officer for the Utah Education and Telehealth Network, and we provide the internet for all of the schools in the state of Utah. And I used to think of us as kind of this little small network, but we're over 1,700 sites that we connect around the state of Utah. And it's libraries, it's higher ed, it's public ed, it's it's some government agencies on the state level. So we do that, and so we run a big network. And in the executive director there, he called me up and told me that there was an opportunity with SC coming to Salt Lake in 2012. And so he introduced me to Linda Winkler, who got me involved, and I traveled to New Orleans that fall, and I showed up the Sunday before the conference, and I went over and I immediately recognized that all the work had been done, and I was just sort of seeing the fruits of their efforts with Cyanide. But I got that taste, and I went to the turnover meeting and met the next year's chair, who was Jeff Boot, and they were talking about going to Seattle, and I signed up for the full deal. I think I spent 7 weeks in Seattle in 2011.
With Cyanide?
With Cyanide, and because it was coming and going, and at the time there were two staging events. There was a Power WAN staging, and I was on the WAN team. And so I got to go to Seattle and be part of the WAN, and I volunteered to go to the Westin building, which was where we were keeping all of the equipment and interface to the network links that went all around the world. And so I volunteered to do that, and I met Matt Sikoskis, who is the Cyanide Chair for next year, and we got to be friends, and I got to have that experience, and I met a lot of the vendors, and I told them that I would always be 15 minutes away from the Westin building no matter what, and it was great, and I learned a lot, and I was walked around lost most of the time. It was such an amazing conference, and I've been involved in other conferences, but I never was ever involved in something like this.
Yeah, not to that scale.
No, the one conference that I run, or I'm a trustee in Salt Lake, we have, I think we had 1,100 participants this past October. It was a great conference, but I think our entire committee is about the size of the WAN committee at the, that SC usually has, at least that size.
Yeah. So your first conference was in New Orleans.
Right, and that was, I came in on the tail end of that. I really didn't do anything except for wander around and get to know people. And they were very cordial and kind to me, and it was a nice experience.
Full conference was the one in Seattle?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that was a full meal deal. I went to everything I could on that, and I was given some opportunities, and it was whatever I could do. I ran for duct tape, and I just whatever they asked me to do, I was happy to do it.
Sounds good. All the grunt work is what we call that, right?
A good deal of that. Yeah.
So as human beings, we make instant judgments, just like that. As a species, that's helped us survive. So first impressions are critical. Given that, what were your first impressions of SC and Cyanide? You've already talked a little bit about that, but
well, I really had a very distinct first impression, and my thought was, this is a bullet train, and it's moving very rapidly, and I'm trying to get on it. And how am I going to figure all of this out?
Yeah. And you did get on it.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there's still a lot that I could learn. I don't pretend that I know anywhere near everything that even Cyanide does, because there's just so many incredible people that are involved in that. And you look at a team of I think I heard 91 this year, but that are here, which is down. But you know, you think of all of the knowledge and expertise of that many people and doing the things that they do and everything that they know. I no single individual could come close to understanding all of that.
Yeah, it takes like that village of everyone with all of their expertise to make all of this happen.
Well, it is a team, and what's so incredible about Cyanide is you bring together all of these vendors and all of these different people from labs around the country, from universities, from industry, and you bring them all together, and they work together and get things done. And it's a, you know, it's a test with a final exam every year. Right?
So a lot of stuff goes on to make this thing happen.
Yeah.
So you were the Cyanide Chair in 2019.
That was.
What was the? Well, that was the last live conference or in-person conference before COVID.
Until now, yeah.
So knowing what you know now, would you have done anything different in 2019?
I think there are a lot of things that we could look back on and do different or do better, but I don't really think of it that way. I think of we did some challenging things. We worked beyond what we probably could have done normally, but you know, I mean, it's always a challenge, and you get one shot at being the Cyanide Chair generally, and I don't know of anybody that's ever done it twice, and so you know that that's going to be your opportunity, and you've got to make the best of it. And I'm very pleased with my team, and I have been able to see many of them this week. Yeah. And I have just such great fond memories of them and of the experience. And you know, again, it's one of those things where I got to be the leader of an incredible group of people, but they could have done it without me easily.
I don't know. It takes leadership, I think. It's kind of easy to say that, but
it does. But
somebody's got to be at the
somebody would step up. I mean, that's the thing that's wonderful about that is people always step up, right?
Right. But you were the one that stepped up that year.
I was. And I'm the one that got that opportunity.
And it's okay to have a pat on the back for that.
Well, it was really a wonderful experience, and I learned a lot from it. And I think, you know, I've had people, and it's one of those things where when I was 30 years old, I couldn't have done it. I wouldn't have done a very good job. And because of the experiences that I've had, and I've been at my job now, it'll be 22 years in January. And I know that, you know, I'm there now almost 5 times longer than all previous CTOs put together in this organization, you know. And there were lots of people that said, maybe he'll make it 6 months, maybe he won't when I started, you know. But the thing about it is that I listened to people. You know, I think the best thing that I did when I started my job there was I said, I'm not going to make any changes for the first year. I'm just going to listen and watch and pay attention. And I think that served me well over the years.
Seems like a really wise way to work.
Yeah, I think it is, but you don't have that luxury with SC.
No.
Right? You know, you get that shot and you got to go. Yeah.
The train, the bullet, get on the train.
It's a bullet train.
Yep.
It's moving.
It is. So let's move on to your role as the exhibits chair next year.
Okay.
Your planning is already underway, I'm sure. You're already thinking about this.
Oh, absolutely. It's been underway for quite some time.
I'm sure you've been talking to exhibitors. So what are you learning this week that's going to impact what you do next year in Dallas?
Oh, that's, I can't begin to express all of the things that I've been learning. But again, I'm taking those skills that I've developed in a lifetime career of listening and just asking questions, and I think that's really been critical. And I think the other thing is just keeping your eyes open. And so I've been watching what the SC21 team has done and why they're successful. And I think in an environment where you could fail. I mean, failure is that option, and then, but just moving forward. I mean, one of my favorite things is the man in the arena, right? And and you just think of what they've done. They've been in the arena this year, and it's been this overwhelmingly challenging thing to watch. And I'm grateful that I got to be a part of that as the deputy chair and see what's happening. I wasn't responsible for many of the decisions, but there were tough decisions that had to be made, and that we actually had the decisions, and that people stepped up and made the decisions to show up and to have the show, and that was courageous to do that.
Absolutely. I'm glad they did, because all of the vendors that I've talked to this week have just said what a wonderful experience it's been.
Well, think of all the positive, and I've had the opportunity. So I've gone out and gone around to all of the exhibitors that I've had time for, and I was really hoping I'd get to all of them, and I didn't get to nearly all of them. But I've been here. I started before the gala started on Monday, interviewing and talking to them, and you know, it's, if they have people there, I don't want to go and bug them. You know, I'll stay away. But you know, I've just been going around, and the first thing is, you know, thank you for being here. Yeah. And really, they had to make the decision to be here, which is wonderful that they did that. And I know that there are those who made the decision not to come, and we respect that. For sure. But those who chose to come, we couldn't have had the show without them, and so we've been thanking them for that. And then I've been asking them, you know, 3 questions, and my 3 questions are, and this is crass, I know, I mean, I am just too direct sometimes, but it's just like, what is it going to take to get you to come back to Dallas and SC22? And you know, I'd say 90% of the people that are here said, we're coming back. You know, unequivocal, we're coming back. And those who equivocated a little bit, they're just going to take some time to think about it. You know, it's an investment. It's an investment of time and staff and money, and you know, and we respect that. You know, so we're asking that question, and then we're asking, you know, what's the value proposition of SC? Why are you here? And we're learning a lot about that, and I've learned a lot about that. And then the last question is, if I come to your booth, what am I going to see? And I think, you know, a lot of people really, that just, you can see that spark and say, oh, let me show you, and some great answers. And they really they're thoughtful for being here. They've thought about it. They know why they're here. They know their message that they want to get out. And it's been really fun for me, because I've spent more time in the exhibitors' booths than I normally would in a normal year. And when you're Cyanide, I mean, you're just always going, and I've been watching them, but I've had, you know, this is a different experience for me this year, being with the exhibits, and this opportunity to really see some of the inner workings of the conference, what's going on there, the decisions that need to be made, and the expectations. Lots of eyes on that committee, and now we need to step up, and we've got the eyes on us.
Does it feel like a lot of pressure next year?
Well, I don't know what I should or shouldn't say, but...
well, I mean, I imagine that, because this is an odd year. I read the
handbook, and the first line of the handbook for my position says, you're responsible for the revenue of the conference.
That's a big
So I feel
burden,
a lot of pressure that way.
Well, I think, knowing what I know from you in the very short time that I've talked to you, I think you're up to the task.
Well, we want to make sure that there's value to be here. Yeah. And that's, you know, and we, you know, one thing I've heard over and over again from the exhibitors is that they genuinely value this show. Yeah. They genuinely value being here. I have heard they want to be here.
I've heard the same thing from my guests that are exhibitors this year. Absolutely. Unequivocally. I mean, they want to be here. They are so happy to have that in-person interaction with people that are coming to their booths. So, yeah.
But I do feel a great responsibility to the societies, to the other people, you know, that really, they depend on this for a lot of different and various reasons. Yeah. And so there's pressure. There's definitely pressure. And anything that you do in life that's worthwhile, there's risk. Yeah. And there is the option of not succeeding. I don't want to say that other word. But,
we won't even put it out in the universe. No, So nothing specific that you can really talk about next year as far as any changes to the exhibits?
You know, we're reevaluating
Yeah.
everything right now, and we're going to be, you know, we're going to take, what I would say right now is that I've learned a lot this week, and others that I've been working with have been visiting and talking to. So we're going to get together and we're going to talk through this. But what I would say is that although I can't really address, first of all, I'm not the decision maker.
Right.
You know, Candy is the one, and I'm very clear with her. I know who the boss is here, right? and she and the societies, they're the ones that really have to make the decisions. I really am more in a consulting role here, in an action role. So one of the things I did, and I always do this, Rich will appreciate this, is that I've asked Casey Folds from UT Dallas to be my project manager. And what I've found in my life is that I think I've been pretty successful, but I've been really good in the past probably 6 or 7 years at getting project managers. And when I have somebody that's a project manager, and they really watch what we're doing, they get those action items, they work through things that I probably would say I think I'd have been 3 to 5 times more effective in my career if I would have had a project manager that was really good right from the first, you know. So if you're going to just say, Jim, what have you learned in your career? I mean, one of the things I've learned is get good project managers.
I love that. I think that's great advice for others out there just starting out in their careers.
Well, somebody that can, my project managers know that I'm difficult to deal with, you know. It's kind of like I've been a director for 40 years and I sort of do what I want to do. And they also know that they're the ones that can say, you've got this action item, Jim, and you better go get it done.
They can keep you on task.
Yeah.
So I hear that when you read product reviews, you don't look at the 5-star reviews. That you focus instead on the 1 stars. Why is it really true, first of all?
That is absolutely true.
And why?
Well, first of all, 5-star reviews are filled with a lot of people that bought the product and want to just make sure that, you know, I made a good decision. It's like, oh, how fabulous for you.
Effort justification.
I'm going to tell you how great my decision was, you know. But the thing about it is I learned this years ago when I was buying a Blu-ray player, and I went out and I wanted to get one, and it was a Sony player, and I can't remember. But they make PlayStation, right? And I think it was about the time that PlayStation 3 had been out for a while. And I went out there and the reviews were, I think it was a 1.7 or 1.8 review. And I'm going, this must be the worst Blu-ray player ever made. You know, I mean, I've never seen anything that got a less than 2 stars review that was, equipment. And so I went out there and read it. And, there were, like, the second day of release, there were thousands of reviews. And there was all these PlayStation 3, PS3 owners that were saying, you brought this new feature out for this device and you didn't make it retroactive for my PlayStation 3, and I'm really upset with you for that. And you'd read through and you'd just go through and say, well, this isn't a 1.8 star reviewed. Right. I mean, this isn't a really horrible thing. This is people that are just upset.
Exactly.
You know, and so what I've learned, though, is that I've gone out and I've started to read reviews for products that the 1-star reviews will tell you what you need to know. And often when you go out on Amazon and you see a 1-star review, it's like their shipping was bad, or the company didn't respond to my request, or something like that. And you can discount that and you say, well, okay, they're not happy with the company. Or, it might say that, you might be buying the item for that one thing that you want, and then you'll find out that there's many reviews out there that says this doesn't work. That thing doesn't work. And then you can say, well, that's not the item for me. So I'm definitely a 1-star review reader. That's all I ever read, almost all I ever read.
I think I might change the way I look at reviews now. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So Jim, first of all, did we cover everything that you wanted to talk about with the exhibits next year and your role in SE in that way?
Well, a couple more things, I think. We're going to be in Dallas. We want to focus on the exhibitors. We want to make that a great experience for the exhibitors. We know that part of that is making sure that we get attendees. Yeah. So we're going to be focusing on that. We're going to be working really hard. I'm a volunteer. I'm not going to make anything. In fact, the company I work for, the organization I work for, will pay for me to be here, and I appreciate that. I appreciate my boss and those who, and my staff and those who support us. But we're volunteers, you know, and you look across the breadth of, none of us are getting paid anything. We're doing this because we believe in it and we enjoy it, and it's fun. But also there's real value in this, and so we're going to be working really hard over the next year to bring this and to Dallas and to be successful. And I hope that people will look at that and find reasons to come and join us. And I can tell you that with the concerns that people have had here, with some of the things that are happening in our country right now, and that there's just this revitalizing energy that we're together, that we're able to do this. And overwhelmingly, people here that have come here have been positive about their experiences here. And we're realistic about those concerns. But please come next year to this event. I think you'll enjoy. If you missed it, we missed you. We want you to be here with us, and we want to have these opportunities together. And I really do think that there's, you know, the people that we can be with, the opportunities, the experiences that we share together. I think this is going to be one of those events in years to come where you'll say, I was at SC21, and there will be many more people saying they were here than actually showed up.
Interesting. So it's been wonderful talking to you, first of all, Jim. On a lighter note, I'm going to do a quick fire round of choices here for you.
Okay.
Okay? Chocolate chip or oatmeal raisin?
Oatmeal raisin.
Fresh apple slices with cream cheese or peanut butter?
Cream cheese.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Tap water or bottled water?
Bottled.
Window seat or aisle seat?
Aisle.
Beach or mountains?
Oof. Alaska, because there's beaches and mountains.
Best of both worlds. Chicken or beef?
Beef.
Country or rock and roll?
Rock and roll.
There you go. All right, Jim, thank you for talking to me.
Thank you.
All right, well, this is it. You have
Well, there's
just
going to, in moments,
down,
they're going to start ripping everything. I'll tell you, one of the memories I have from the first time that I was, you know, in Seattle. Actually, I think it really was SC12, because I didn't quite know what was going on. I think I was parked over at the Westin building at SC11. But SC12, I just remember those forklifts coming in, and you got out of the way, and they were ripping up and down the aisles, and the whole thing's coming apart at the seams, and you're just like, this is an amazing thing to watch. And it might not be as amazing here because there's fewer things here, but so you need, if you have not seen that and not had that experience,
I will stick around for 20 more minutes.
You need to watch it happen, but you need to also keep yourself safe and keep out of the way.
Take cover.
Yeah, just stay with somebody that's seen it before, because you know, and when you hear one of those heisters honk, you just get for cover. Don't be looking back, because they might just run you. No, they're very good. They won't run you down. But
some good advice and something interesting to see in a few moments.
It really is. It's an amazing thing to watch.
Very cool. All right, great. Thanks again, Jim. And thank you all for joining us for SC21 TV. Make sure to like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. More content is ahead, but this is our last live broadcast from St. Louis. Here's the team who made these videos possible. Our thanks goes out to Devin Connolly, Eric Basil, Tom Moore, Michael Regalbuto. I don't know if I said your name right, Michael. I'm so sorry. My apologies if I got it wrong. Jonathan Moon, Naren Kizarin, another difficult one, Rich Finlinson, Jim Stewart, Vranas Disipinski, and I have been your host, Charla Bokikio. I am looking forward to seeing you all at SC22 in Dallas. Bye for now.